Welcome to the TOEFL Listening section. In this section, you will listen to an academic lecture and then answer questions about what you heard. You may take notes while you listen. You will have time to review your notes before answering the questions. Listen to part of a lecture in a university class. You will hear the lecture only once, so listen carefully. After the lecture, you will answer some questions about what you heard. Some questions ask about the main ideas and supporting details. Other questions ask you to make inferences or connections between ideas. Answer each question based on what is stated or implied in the lecture.
Good morning. Today we will explore symbolism in poetry and how poets use images to convey hidden meanings. When we talk about symbols, we mean objects, actions, or images that stand for ideas beyond their literal sense. I will focus on distinguishing conventional symbols from contextual symbols, describing analytic methods, and offering 3 brief case studies to show how symbols operate. First, conventional symbols draw on a shared cultural inventory. For example, a dove often denotes peace, and darkness commonly suggests ignorance or danger. Conventional symbols rely on connotation as well as denotation. Connotation is the associative meaning, while denotation is the literal reference. By contrast, contextual symbols acquire meaning from the context of a particular poem. A concrete image may mean one thing in one poem and something quite different in another. When I say that a symbol often changes meaning within a poem, I mean that context can transform a familiar image into something new. Now, methods. To find symbols, read closely for repetition, emphasis, and anomalous detail. If a detail recurs or is described in unusually vivid language, it may function as a symbol. Also track shifts in tone and point of view. A change in tone can reveal that an image is carrying symbolic weight rather than mere description. Another technique is to consider intertextual echoes. A poet may reuse a myth or archetype and thereby bring historical associations into the poem. Let us examine 3 short case studies. The first is William Blake's poem, The Tyger. Blake uses the tiger as an emblem of awe and fear regarding creation. The tiger is not simply an animal. It becomes a symbol of powerful, creative force and dangerous beauty. Note the way Blake pairs the tiger with the lamb in other poems to set up contrasting symbolic registers of innocence and experience. The second case study is Robert Frost's The Road Not Taken. Here the roads function as a symbolic choice. Many readers have made this a symbol of individualism, but close reading shows that Frost complicates the simple moral about bravery. Frost uses ambiguity and tone to prevent the road from settling into a single conventional meaning. The symbol remains open and contested. The third example is Sylvia Plath's mirror. In that poem, the mirror acts as a literal object and a symbol of self-scrutiny and harsh truth. Plath uses precise diction and unemotional tone to make the mirror a moral witness. In all 3 examples, notice how diction, syntax, and imagery collaborate to create symbolic effect. Symbol is not a standalone device. We should also consider archetypal symbols like the journey, the garden, or the sea. These recur across cultures and bring broad associations that poets can invoke or subvert. But remember that a supposed archetype can be altered by local detail and context. That alteration is often where the poem produces its critical insight. When writing about symbols, be precise. Identify the image, cite the lines that emphasize it, explain its conventional associations, if any, and then analyze how the poem changes or confirms those associations. To summarize, Symbolism in poetry operates on layers. Some symbols are conventional and draw on shared meanings. Others are contextual and gain meaning from the poem itself. Use close reading and attention to repetition, tone, and diction to interpret symbols, and always support claims with textual evidence. That concludes the lecture. In the next class, we will practice applying these methods to a short contemporary poem.
Listen again to part of the lecture, then answer the question.
When I say that a symbol often changes meaning within a poem, I mean that context can transform a familiar image into something new.
This concludes the listening section. For more TOEFL practice tests and study materials, visit Spinta.org.